Your astrological chart is not incomplete by accident. It is a deliberate, calculated lie, designed over 3,000 years ago by the high priests of ancient Babylon. They didn't just miscalculate the stars. They intentionally erased a massive, undeniable constellation from the sky map. They locked away the 13th gate. Today, we are going to open it. And once you see what they hid, you will understand exactly why you have never fit into this world. To control a population, you must first control their concept of time and destiny. When the ancient Babylonian priesthood established the zodiac, they weren't just charting stars for agriculture. They were building a psychological and spiritual matrix. They loved the number 12. 12 months, 12 hours of day, 12 hours of night. 12 is a number of perfect symmetry. It divides perfectly. It creates a closed, unbreakable loop. So they took the vast, chaotic, infinite universe and forced it into a neat 12-slice pie. They created the karmic wheel. Birth, struggle, aging, and death repeating endlessly through the 12 archetypes. There was a problem. A massive, glaring problem, physically sitting right on the ecliptic path of the sun. The universe does not care about perfect human math. For 18 days out of the year, the sun does not travel through Scorpio or Sagittarius. It travels through a completely different house. Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. This constellation is not a modern discovery. The ancient Babylonians knew it was there. The Greeks knew it was there. But the ancient knowledge keepers made a conscious decision to strike it from the official record. They mathematically erased him to maintain their perfect 12-piece puzzle. But why? Why erase a cluster of stars? Because in the ancient mystical traditions, symbols are not just pictures. They are energetic frequencies. And the frequency of Ophiuchus terrified the old priesthood. Look at the symbol. A human wrestling a giant serpent in the ancient world. Before texts were manipulated to make the snake a symbol of evil, the serpent represented something entirely different. It represented Kundalini energy, DNA activation, radical healing, the shedding of the old skin. In myth, Ophiuchus is Asclepius, the ultimate healer who became so powerful, he discovered the secret to bringing the dead back to life. Read between the lines of the myth. Bringing the dead back to life is ancient. Code. It means remembering who you are after you die. It means escaping the cycle of reincarnation. The 12 signs represent the wheel of karma, the endless loop of forgetting, incarnating, suffering, and dying. Ophiuchus, the 13th gate, represents the exit. He is the consciousness that masters the serpent masters its own raw, cosmic energy and steps off the wheel entirely. Now, put yourself in the shoes of the ancient Babylonian elite. Your entire power structure relies on people believing they are bound to a specific fate. If the masses realize they are trapped in a 12-step karmic loop, they might accept it. But if you show them the 13th gate, if you show them the symbol of the cycle breaker, you give them the key to their own escape. If the souls of humanity learn to access the frequency of Ophiuchus, they would no longer need the priests. They would no longer need the rituals, the temples, or the matrix. They would rewrite their own destiny. So, the priesthood did what controllers always do. They hid the truth. They told humanity, there are only 12 paths. Pick one and stay in line. But energy cannot be destroyed. The 13th gate was erased from paper, but it was never erased from the cosmos. And more importantly, it was never erased from your spiritual DNA. If you watched our last video, you know the signs. The feeling of not belonging. The allergy to cyclic routines. The deep, unexplainable homesickness. You feel these things because you are vibrating at the frequency of the erased constellation. You are the embodiment of the 13th gate. You incarnated into this 12 sign matrix specifically to break its mathematical hold over human consciousness. They tried to hide the exit door from humanity, so the universe sent you to tear down the walls. You now know the trap. You now know your identity. You now know the history they tried to bury. But knowing the door exists is not the same as walking through it. How do you actively break the karmic contract they forced upon you? How do you use the energy of the 13th gate to completely rewrite your unrecorded destiny in this lifetime? That is the final step, and we will unlock it in the next video. Subscribe, claim your real frequency, and step out of the circle. The 13th gate is open.